Have you guys heard of vegan spicules? Has anybody heard of it? How many people do we have?
We have 10 people right now.
All right, 10 people. I want to hear your questions too. Tell us what you have on your mind, what you'd like to know more. This is all about cutaneous chemistry, about your skin, and what we can do to help it, to support it, to make it look younger, to get the best out of the skin we can possibly have. Uh, we are always, in my opinion, competing with ourselves. So we want to make what we have better. It's not about, you know, some people say, oh, this person, they have been using this product and they still, that is not their skin. And I saw somebody else's skin is better and this. But the question I always ask is that you need to compare them to themselves. So if a person exercise, they ate right, and they do all things, then they look in a specific way now. What would they have looked like if they didn't do those things? Or again, if what if they did all the bad things and they're not looking good? What if they did something? How much better they would have looked? So I always say the main, if you want to call it the competition or referencing or whatever you want to call it, is with ourselves. It's not with other people. So when you go and do something, you have to say, well, how much did it do for you? Not, well, I did all these things, it's still somebody else is better than me. That is not the point. The point is that the fact that you did that, how much better off or how much worse off you are at this point. And this is what we like to focus on. This is like what we want to talk about, is that how we can make your skin to do the best it can be with all the technology that we have at our disposal. And this is what we like to do. Manuela's here.
I'm here. Hello. Hello. Sorry for being late. I was on another conversation, but now I'm here. How far have we gotten?
I just
Hi,
warming
everyone.
up.
Thank you for tuning
I'm
in.
just warming up. I
We want
forgot
to say
to
thank you to
say-
everybody for tuning in. We love having you,
Yeah.
and it's really important for us that you're here. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really means a lot to us. It also means a lot to us because we know that you're trying to, learn more, improve, self-care. These are all really good things. So together in our community, we can really learn and share and explore and talk about skincare. And, I really like the fact that we can share this information and pick your brain.
Absolutely.
Brain picking time.
And we love to share what we know. And it always makes us, when every time we sit down to create these presentations for you, we learn at the same time because we are looking at what we're doing and we say, what about this? Or what about that? Or how is this going to do it? So it makes us also think harder, and it actually helps us to invent things sometimes. So it's a little bit self-preserving. We like doing it because we get ahead. We get ahead. We learn more. Uh, we dig in deeper, and in doing so, we learn more and we can create better things.
What I like about today's topic, so today's cutaneous chemistry, we're going to talk about did we launch? We talked about spicules, is that the spicule is something that the ocean, it's a sea sponge. There are different versions of the spicule, but just think about how we're able to incorporate now in formulations, now giving us this acid-free way of refining, renewing the skin, stimulating. So this is something that is being used in a very optimal way, and we could do so much with it for our skin. I personally, this is only my own personal experience, but for the last 30 years, 3 decades that we've been formulating crepey skin. People talk about crepey skin a lot, especially as you get older, you have this crepey skin. And they're like, if you can cure crepey skin, so we try everything, right? There's exfoliation, there's hydration, there's, more of an occlusive. So you're trying to always plump and plump up. I have found that the introduction of the spicule may be the way in. I truly see a direct correlation outside of all the other ingredients and systems. So if you are doubtful, or if you've been struggling with crepey skin and you've tried everything, those the exfoliating, opening up the skin, getting the hydration in, creating an occlusive barrier, maybe working on some kind of massage or tool or anything, I want you to seriously consider spicules, because the spicule is making a difference. And I think it has everything to do with the absorption, that ability to absorb, like that liquid microneedling absorption changes something. Something changes. So let's get into that.
We're gonna get into details of that and why I personally think it's more advanced than microneedling, because let's get into that.
All right, let's go. We have just before everybody, we want to talk about 3 formulas that we do make. If you're interested, we want you to be able to link or click below or see. We have the Diamond Peptide Spicule Body Cream. This is something you're going to use on your body. So if you've got stretch marks, if you have surgery scars, anything that you want to perfect or tighten and tone. We have the Face Spicule Diamond Exfoliating Peel. This is something you're going to use once every 72 hours. So this is a couple of times a week. The body product is, you could use it every day or every other day. And then we have the brand new Booster Cream. This is the spicule. This is 500 ppm. 500 ppm can be a daily use. With spicules, you don't want a very high dose to use every day, because they stay in your skin for a period of time. So you don't want to overload it. You don't want to oversaturate it, right? You got to give it time. So this is your daily for the face. This is your twice a week for the face. That's going to be intensive. Wrinkles, sagging. And this is for the body that you could use as well. All right, here we go.
All right, so we put the key peptides and we are enhancing the penetration with these spicules. Let's dig in. So a natural ingredient, okay? They're small, they're needle-like, they're irregular shape. Some are like a star, some are just a needle, but they have sharp edges that they can slowly penetrate the skin and then give you a lot of benefits that I'm going to be talking about. So there's so many different types of spicules. I created this table for you. We have made it available to you before, but we can make it available to you before, and all you have to do say chart. Okay, chart. If you say chart and you make comment chart under the presentation, you will be receiving these information. So we are using this type on the very, very top. That's the type that we use, okay? But more or less, they have the same dimensions, okay? The shorter ones are a little bit better. I prefer them because we don't want them to go too deep. We want them to stay on the surface. And I'm going to talk about this here. We are talking about the length. We are saying 100 to 250 microns, okay? So your skin it has layers. It's like this book, okay? It has like this book. It doesn't have as many layers as this, but it has a few layers, okay? So we can do the same thing with the skin. We can see these layers shed. Eventually, the lower ones come to the top and they shed. So one page of the book, this thickness is 100 micron, more or less. So I want you to give your perspective when we say the length of the spicule is between 100 to 250. We're talking about 1 or 2 paper thin thickness. Okay, so it's not going really deep. It's staying at the right spot. That's what's very important. Now I talked about the skin, different layers. Okay, so all I want you to remember is that we have the very top layer that is epidermis, and then there is the dermis. Here we have the cells that we call them keratinocytes, and below we have the collagen, elastin, and all of those cells and all those molecules. So here is between 50 to 120. So remember the spicules were about 100 to 250. So if my finger is a spicule, we're talking about somewhere here. Okay? So it goes onto your epidermis and it barely touches into your dermis, very little. That's why it stimulates the collagen, it stimulates the elastin. That's why it is very, very important.
It's also why some people feel it, some people don't, right?
Yeah.
When you, depending on the length and everything. But some people, like I always feel it, and some people never. Like, and some people feel at the beginning they don't feel it, and some people never feel it. So we all have different.
There's actually, you brought up a very good thing. Right in our epidermis here, we have what we call is Merkur cells, and those are sensory cells. So not everybody has the exact same amount of Merkur cells in their skin. It's genetic; it varies. So those that sense it a little bit more, most probably have more Merkur cells in their epidermis. Those that sense it less, they probably have less. Okay.
Yeah, it's like when you're in a room and someone says, "I'm cold," and the other person's like, "I'm really hot." And it's like, it's the same thing, but you're feeling it differently.
Right. Now, let's talk about mechanism. Why these spicules do something for your skin. Let's talk about it. So, first of all, what Manuela mentioned is non-acidic exfoliation.
I love this.
Right?
I love this.
Mechanical exfoliation helps the cellular turnover.
Mm-hmm.
When we are young, naturally our cells turn over on our skin much faster. As we age, just think about these cells get sticky and the exfoliation is not as fast as when we were younger. So as we age, we want to kind of give it a jolt to that exfoliation. We want to improve the exfoliation. We want to increase the rate of the exfoliation on our skin. And that's what this helps. It mimics the microneedling. So why we are saying that? Because we are putting these spicules at 500 ppm. So when they go on your skin, those little punctures that they make in your skin that are much, much, much finer than microneedling, they help penetration of whatever you put on your skin after. Mm-hmm. So that is one additional mechanism that is very, very helpful.
Yes.
Now, these tiny punctures also mechanically will help stimulate the collagen production and cellular turnover at the same time. Now, transdermal delivery, we talked about that. Now, here is the key thing that I am a very strong believer that why these spicules are actually doing such wonders for our skin. Not only that they are making these tiny mechanical punctures in your skin and stimulates your skin, improve the cellular turnover, but what they're composed of is magnesium, calcium, strontium, potassium, silicon, and manganese. Okay, so every one of these things, these elements, has a unique benefit for your skin. And it's true, some of those spicules that are in the skin, as a function of the epidermal shedding, it will eventually come off your skin. Your skin will shed it off. However, think about as if you have a nutrition stick in your skin, that this stick, it eventually leaves your skin, but during the time that is in there, it will slowly release some of the components of it, and it kind of nourishing your skin with those elements that is in that stick. Not all of it will go into your skin, but some that leaches out is really, really beneficial for your skin. And this is the part that really, when I started looking at it, I said, wow, there's way more than these mechanical things that we are doing for our skin. Now, mainly, we're talking about the main composition of the spicules is silica, calcium carbonate, and magnesium carbonate. Okay, so these are out of these lists. Okay, these are the key ones. Okay, now let's take a look at it. Silica, it supports collagen synthesis.
Yes.
Okay, very good, right? So enhances the fibroblast function. It reinforces skin barrier.
Super important.
Okay,
Yeah.
so look at 3 things already that is in that spicule that is going to be helpful. Even a tiny amount of those will turn into ions and leaches into your skin. You're getting microdose benefit,
Yeah.
right?
There is microdose, but there's also a nutrient benefit with the spicule. It's
Right.
not just a thing.
Calcium carbonate. It releases calcium ions. It promotes keratinocyte differentiation. Okay? It aids in lipid barrier formation, and it's also itself a mild exfoliant. Magnesium, anti-inflammatory. It's
Super
soothing.
important.
It's soothing for your skin. Supports ATPase. Now let me talk about that a little bit. Every time at the end of a molecule name you have an ASE, A-S-E, it means it's an enzyme. So ATPase is an enzyme that helps the formation of ATP. What is ATP? It's the fuel for your cells. So this is helping your cells to become more energized. So magnesium, you look at the back of a label and sometimes you see magnesium citrate, magnesium carbonate. All those are in there because they have a unique function for your skin. But now we have something that is like a stick that you put at the base of a tree to fertilize it.
Mhm.
Is now this is a stick that going into your skin and it giving your skin nutrition, in my opinion. So this is really, really important in terms of how we can support our skin. We have the mechanical support, we have the ionic support. I like to call it an ionic support because all these form into ions of calcium and magnesium, and they really do something good for your skin in terms of collagen production or soothing your skin. Now, there's always something new. So the other day, somebody said, why don't you guys have a vegan spicule? I don't know everything, so I start looking into it as a vegan spicule. That's very interesting. We should really look into it. So we start doing our research. We start looking at it to see who makes vegan spicules, where can you get it, how credible is the source, what are the concentrations you're supposed to use, etc., etc. And then I was very surprised about what I found out because then you talk about vegan, it's okay, it's natural, but it's not animal based, and it has all this great stuff. But I always look at things in a very with a cautious approach. Okay, so when I started looking at this, I said, okay, what's the inky name? Calcium, which is okay. Aluminum,
Aluminum.
aluminum,
Aluminum.
borosilicate fibers. So let's talk about this. These are synthetic.
It is vegan though.
It's vegan. So, look, I don't have a problem with the silicon dioxide. I don't have a problem with it, but this aluminum oxide, even that I don't have a problem with it, but here I have a problem with it. I tell you why. Because this is not just sitting on your skin. Remember about the needle shape?
Mhm.
These actually penetrate your skin, and because they don't get decomposed and because they have perfect shapes, so one of the things that is unique about them is that they can really control the shape and they can really control the size.
Because this is now laboratory made as
Right,
opposed to naturally occurring.
natural, right.
Yeah.
Which it can have a benefit, but the problem is this aluminum stick that now you're poking into your skin. Eventually, it will leach. In my opinion, eventually it will leach aluminum. It can potentially leach aluminum into your body, and I don't like that. I don't like that. If this was something that was sitting on the skin, I have no issues with it. But the fact that it's actually poking into your skin and it can potentially leach aluminum, I don't like it.
And for people who are concerned about aluminum, or people who talk about antiperspirants, right? It's because of the aluminum.
But
So
even
now-
antiperspirants, they say do not put it on your skin if it's broken.
Right.
So if your skin, if you don't have a cut, the amount it can potentially get absorbed is very negligible, in my opinion. Again,
But people are sensitized to it.
Right.
People are made aware, and people are nervous or
Yeah.
concerned or afraid. So I think for the rate of disclosure, it's not because we're saying no, don't use it, but if you are, like I use antiperspirant, so I mean obviously I don't mind aluminum chloride, but if you are the type of person who is zero aluminum, for whatever reason, and then you also like vegan products, you should know that
Pay attention to ingredients.
the ingredient of the spicule, when they say, okay, well, this is a sponge and this is now a man-made one, and you're against the sponge version for the natural version, for example, know that the man-made one may also go against what you believe.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you need to know this. This is so you can make always to make better decisions. Right?
Dimensions are almost the same, but one thing I want to go back, they have perfect shapes, okay? Which is a bonus. Could be a bonus. Now, let's go. I make this table again. If you say chart, we can send you this table, okay?
Not this table.
Not this table.
This table.
This table. Okay.
This would be weird to send it to you.
Proper natural sponge spicules are grown sustainably in clean ocean farms.
Sounds good.
That the water is controlled, the water is purified, and there's no contamination, so they are very clean. And after they are made, they also go through additional purification. The man-made long, well, there are no marine sourcing, but they're man-made. They have aluminum. These guys are biodegradable in the skin. This guy is not biodegradable. It can remain in the skin for a longer time. There are no aluminums or toxic materials in there, or toxins. This may leach aluminum ions over time, which is not a good thing.
So having this and this together is kind of interesting because it could stay longer, so it gives more a potential is increased. Just FYI, right?
Okay. Works with your skin's natural processes. Remember all the kings that it was made of: calcium carbonate, magnesium, silicone. Those are all natural stuff that are clean. They're not toxic. Non-toxic natural, okay? And then here is chemically foreign, so it can be irritating to the skin more. It's eco-friendly and reef safe, okay? And then here it is energy. So if people they want the carbon marker on the products, then it has a much higher carbon marking footprint, carbon footprint.
So you have to buy carbon credits.
Right. You can pay for it and feel better.
Feel better.
I have a problem with that. I'm sorry. I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. You cannot pay and make bad things be okay. So that it is not. It's like somebody says, you know what? Buy so many.
But that's how billionaires justify polluting the environment more than everybody else. They just buy carbon credits. They go, well, I didn't hurt. Well, but you made the mess.
This is like going to someone and punching them in the face and then give them $10. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to punch them in the face. But that's how I see the carbon footprint issues.
Carbon credits.
All right.
We got to get into that another day when we talk about.
How many questions do we have?
Is this it?
I think so.
Okay, so a lot of people wanted to know about spicules. I'm very excited about them. I like them because I think of them more as a tool. As you know, I find it has really been allowing us to take our skincare routine to a more intensive level without the introduction of acids or things that are irritating. Spicules are not designed to be irritating in a negative sense of sensitizing, peeling, flaking, burning. They are active though. They are active. They are can be intensive. They do refine the skin. Really great benefits for pore size. Really good for stimulating the skin. This is something that people who are a little very sensitive or apprehensive, or you have some conditions. I don't know if you've got rosacea or eczema or breakout or things like that. You've got to be or lupus, you have to be very careful of what you're using or aware of what you're using on your skin. I think Spicules now opens you up to so many more treatments and better results over time.
The thing that you also have to pay attention, this is really important. We have products that if you overdo it, it's more or less okay. Okay, like a moisturizer. You put too much moisturizer, you may not maximize the benefit, but you will not do. It won't cause a problem. With spicules, you have to follow the label directions very
Yes, you
carefully.
should.
You have to, because do not think because you applied at the label direction rate and you're getting amazing results now. If you triple the application, you're going to triple the benefits. It's not going to happen. Okay, we have carefully studied the concentration, and we have carefully studied the rate that you need to apply it to your skin, the frequency, and you need to pay attention to that. On top of that, remember we talked about Merkel cells in the skin and how you sense things on your skin. From me to Manuela, it will be quite different because we don't have the same exact concentration of the Merkel cells on the skin. So in general, if you put some near your skin and your skin says it's too much, you reduce it. Okay, you don't just say no. You first
You
you
find your
listen to your
level.
skin, and also you follow the label directions. But your skin, how your skin talks to you, it supersedes the label direction.
Absolutely. That's the
Okay.
relationship you need to
Yeah,
work on.
yeah.
That relationship. Don't force it.
No. And this is not something that you want to over apply. I'm not trying to scare you, but I'm just saying that you need to get the best results. For me, slow evolution for your skin is always better than revolution for your skin. Gentle, slowly, as Italians say, piano.
Piano. All right. So questions. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. And if you are interested, do we have
Use the code Spicules to get 20% off.
Spicules? Code Spicules gets you 20% off. We should have said this right off the bat. Code Spicules gets 20% off. These are my favorite spicule formulations. I love this one. This is where it all started, was the diamond peptide. We have diamonds in here, and very important. This is the diamond also helps to refine the skin. So with our diamond peptide, you're getting the diamonds, the peptides, and the spicules. So you're getting like a triple facial. Here we have the daily booster cream. Excellent for dry, sensitive skin. Excellent, phenomenal for crepiness. And for the body, you have stretch marks, you have any kind of scars, you have imperfections, you have crepey skin, you have, that stretched out skin. Say, a lot of people are going on these diets, so they're taking diet medication and they're losing a lot of fat and weight, and their skin is not keeping up with them. Start using the spicule, because this will help with the tightening of the skin over time because of the collagen quality that it speeds up. So, questions?
Make sure to repeat the question.
Yes.
Spicules and retinol, can you use them together at the same time?
The question is spicules and retinol. Can we use them together at the same time?
It depends how sensitive your skin is. In general, I do not suggest it right off the bat unless you have been using the retinol on your skin for some time already and your skin is quite used to it. You start very slow. I would recommend that do it once a week at the beginning and then slowly increase it. It depends on everybody's skin is a little bit different, but if you have sensitive skin, I won't go that route.
Yeah, so ideally too, like for example, if you were using this spicule, this one is 1,000 ppm, right? This one and a retinol the same night, I would say definitely not. But if you've used this one for 2, 3, 4 weeks, right? And use retinols on different day, and you finish using this, and then you want to switch to the cream, for example, I would still maybe once or twice a week put this cream over your retinol. You could do that at nighttime. I wouldn't do it every night. I would wait and see, right? You want to go slowly. You want to merge into utilizing it if you're using it. But definitely on non-retinol nights, use spicules. Absolutely.
You use substantially less of your retinol cream because these spicules will enhance the penetration, okay?
There's nothing wrong with using less retinol, even though low-dose retinol is really the key.
Absolutely.
Right?
Remember, this helps you get more out of your beauty routine. No questions asked.
Yep. Next question.
How would you incorporate each of the spicule products into your skincare routine?
How would you incorporate each of these formulas into your skincare routine?
Well, the body product is self-explanatory. So
Shower,
if you
then
on a
cream.
cleansed skin, you apply the body product.
Yeah.
And then if you have another treatment product that has caffeine in it or other products that are really good for stretch marks, or they are exothermic and causes lipogenesis and things like that, the fat burning, you can apply them after. That's not a problem. Um, for these, I would not recommend using an acid exfoliation at the same time. So if you have those glycolic acids, salicylic acid, and all that stuff at high concentration, you put that away when you're using this, and you let this one do the job for you in a non-acidic way, and then you basically use the rest of your regimen after. So this goes first. You wait for 20, 30 seconds, and then you can start with your serum and your cream.
Right. Just one thing, if you are using a cleanser that already has like a glycolic or a salicylic acid in it, you can go ahead and use that cleanser.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
you
not
wash
a
it
problem.
away.
You're going to wash that away. Exactly. Then you can go on. So clean your skin, then apply your serum, then apply your cream. Or clean your skin, apply your serum, apply your cream. Simple. Next question.
Do spicules help with dullness on the skin?
Do spicules help with dullness on the skin?
5-star. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dullness, radiance,
You're
pores.
promoting a natural exfoliation. You're enhancing the penetration of the key ingredients that you're using after, and all that works together to basically make your skin more radiant.
Any more questions?
That was our last question.
Last question. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to use the code SPICULE20 to get 20% off the Spicule formulations.
Just spicules.
Just Spicules. This is not, the code is Spicule20 to get 20% off of these 3 formulas of the Spicules. This coupon code is active or valid until
Midnight today.
So it's a today only 20% off the Spicules. If you have other questions and comments, please put it below. Please like, share, subscribe, tell everybody about us. Please allow our community to grow. We need you to be part of the outreach.
You're our messengers.
You're messengers. And we enjoy being with you. We'd like to know, what do you suggest our next week? We're at Tuesday and Thursday next week at 3:30. We will be doing Isomers Live again. We'll be offering a different configuration. I'd like to know what you want us to talk about, so put those in the comments below. And thank you very much for tuning in.
Yes, thank you, and have a wonderful day, and have a kind heart. Do something nice for anybody you see.
Oh, and happy 4th of July to
Yes.
everybody in the U.S. and happy belated Canada Day to everybody in Canada. Bye.
Bye.